I want to introduce Scott Easterday, all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. Let's give him a round of applause.
You're long-winded. Okay, I knew I was going second, so this works good. I brought a few things, and I want to talk about something I think is probably the most important thing. Saying yes. Now, had I never said yes, everything we're doing today probably would have never happened. I'd never seen it. I'd never met any of you guys. And now I've met two groups of people like this, just in the circumstance of this. So when we look at that, I think it's very, very important that we understand why and what we have to do. November 1st is an important day for me because that's the day that I took responsibility for my own income. And that happened in 2018. I am now starting my 8th year on November 1st, and my previous boss told me I would not make it 30 days. He called me 2 weeks ago and he said, I let you leave because I wanted you to grow. No, you didn't let me leave. I decided on my own. And I'm glad that I did. Had I never done that, none of this would have happened. So all of this started because I went to Denver for a book signing for a friend from New Hampshire who wrote a book. Notice the books are a common theory here with all the stuff we're doing. Everybody's got a book, right? Her book, I went there. I was invited to the event she was going to while I was in Denver. Happened to be at Chief Systems, and guess who was there? Right there, Mr. Gomez. The guy had a large amount of patience with me, enrolled me in this, and I finally showed up, and now I'm on my second one of these. So I want you to understand, I said yes to one thing, and it turned into a lot of stuff. Incidentally, I will go ahead and talk about that after this one. But here's what happened. We're running out of space. We're going to have to get a bigger room. Because all the green items is what has happened since March of 2025. I was on this stage in March of 2025. I walked out of here. I wound up signing up for a Brain Changer 2. Now I'm talking about 3 because I haven't been presented it yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Okay? But when you look at what happened, and all the red is everything before that. All happened in about a year or two span. I wound up with 2 business coaches buying a speaker course. I now have 2 speaking gigs. One's going to be in Denver, which courtesy of our friends up in Denver that I met. I'm starting my second book soon. And somebody invited me to a podcast, and I can't figure out who it was. So I actually have to go check my notes. But I want you to understand that this here is what happens when you say yes to things. And it's all because I went to a couple of events. It started with one. And now I've got a calendar that's actually filled all the way to March of next year. And June is filling up. And it looks like the third quarter of next year is already being planned. So when you take a look at these things, it's quite remarkable how far it's gone. I can't shrink this anymore. So I tried. But I want to talk about something else that happened. My health care cost went down. How many people go to the doctor and get an EKG? One that tells your heart rhythm? They print out the $150 piece of paper, count for inflation. Okay? Every one of those since November 1st of 2018, note that date, has read the word normal. Everything before that date, and had a name that was longer than this here hotel room. And the longer the name, the worse the problem. So my health improved drastically overnight, all because I went self-employed and started making my own decisions. I now work more hours than I did at my old job. But you wouldn't know it if I didn't tell you that, would you? You wouldn't have a clue that I put in 80 to sometimes 85 hours a week if I didn't tell you. But I like everything I'm doing. And one of my most important things that I do is I make sure that I spend some time every day with people that I enjoy in my life. That counts calling business contacts, different people that I know, customers that I work with a lot in all of my businesses, and I communicate with them. Now, and as you heard earlier, I talk to Brittany almost every day of the week, at least in some form of it, or something. And what we are is we're simply battery chargers for one another. Do you have a battery charger in your life that can lift you up when you're... How many times do you get in the middle of the day and you're like, you're lost? So you got to stop and take a refresher. Well, if things are starting to go in a lull, I make a quick phone call to one of them. And if you call the right one, they're going to light your, what up, and you're going to be jumping all over. They will, won't they? And then they'll tell you, just do it. Just do it. And that's why I joined all these groups that I'm in. Achieve Business Systems up in Denver happens to be one of the best things I ever did. In fact, I joined that group before I went home. I was a guest one time. February of 3 years ago, I joined on the way home. So this slide has got to be, I swear, the most important slide you ever see in your life. You really got to think about it. And I'm curious how many more things we're really going to add to it when I'm done. When I leave here today, I'm afraid that I'm going to have to I got to pick a new color now so I can identify the new stuff. I did that purposely. I didn't know how I'd be able to tell anybody anything. I think we'll stick with yellow. What do you think? I like that idea. Yeah, the yellow sticks out. So, but I started this, and now I'm really pushing my speaking career. I've never done anything like this except for 20 years prior. I brought these books up with me because they're a reminder of what my progress is. This book here is the first book I was ever in print in. Okay, it's a big book. It's got a lot of stuff in it, but the most important value behind this book is the first one I did. That kicked off this one, and Brain Changer 2, which is coming out soon. And I carry these around. I even stole it off their table just a little bit ago so that I have a reminder of what I've done. You have to stop and remind yourself of your progress. I think that's another thing that people are forgetting. I forget it. Look how far I've come. 4, 5 years ago, would I have ever been on this stage? Would I ever have been brave enough to hold the microphone? Probably not. And most people don't. So then they go home, they go to an event, they go home, like Daniel said, they go home. They put the stuff away and they don't touch it. Well, we have to touch it, and you have to do something with it. Now, I'll give you one other piece of advice with what you're going to do today here, since we're on the topic of advice now. When you go home, don't do anything with the stuff you learn until you've been home for about 24, 48 hours. Let the stuff sink in. And he's going to say that at the end of the thing tomorrow. I'm cheating. But let it sink in, and then book time on Tuesday or Wednesday to follow up on any ideas or things or notes you made while you were here this weekend. Because one of the things I'm guilty of when I get home from these events is I forget to book a follow-up day. So now I just met 6 of you, and guess what? I forgot to talk to all 6. 2 months go by. Now I've lost 50% of you guys because I didn't follow up and say, hi, thanks for meeting me at the sticker shock. So those are the kind of things you have to do. It's repetitiveness, being consistent, and when you do these things, they all come through to fruition. And because of that, you'll wind up getting all the stuff that's happening today. Now, this speech was not prepared. I did it all random. And the reason I did it random was I listened to my last one I did. I liked it. But it wasn't what we needed to hear today. So I changed it to something based on what I saw you guys talking about and doing and listening to everybody the last half the day. And I think because of changing that, that also gives me a new perspective because I just brought up topics that I myself didn't realize we needed. So I think that higher power that guides all of us, including our leader here, I think that higher power told me, go talk about this because it's more relevant. So, but I appreciate your time. I'm glad we got to do this. There's who I am. There's my most favorite picture of all time. Hey, I had that taken in Denver at the Achieve Conference. And the QR code's also on my back table. You're welcome to scan it, connect with me if you'd like. And thank you for your time. And I'm looking forward to the next one.